Hey guys, a warm welcome to my channel. So in the last lecture we have done the elements of state and we had done population in that. The next element of state is territory. From here it will be done in this lecture, and I will try to complete all the other elements which are left. 3 elements are left. I hope that all these 3 would be done in this lecture itself. Okay, let's begin. Territory. State is a territorial institution. Fixed territory and population gives it a physical identity in the eyes of municipal law and international law. So, territory is a particular bounded area of land which is guarded by the borders. Okay, and it should have fixed territory means a land which is bordered. ठीक है, जिसके चारों तरफ बॉर्डर होना चाहिए, जिससे कि पता चले कि हाँ ये यहाँ से यहाँ तक बॉर्डर जो बना हुआ है वो फिक्स्ड टेरिटरी है इंडिया की, फॉर एग्जांपल. ठीक है, और पॉपुलेशन ऑफ अ स्टेट शुड आल्सो बी फिक्स्ड सो दैट territory could be identified as a territory or as a state in the eyes of law. Functions of a state as political and legal community of human beings must first of all be exercised in a given territory. Whatever the functions of a state are of its people, that must be exercised in that particular bounded area or territory only. It is a geographical area owned and controlled by a government or country to exercise state sovereignty. I told you what is sovereignty. When the government is not interfered by any external power or rule that how it has to govern that particular country, then it is called the policy or the principle of sovereignty. India is also a sovereign country, and so in that particular area there should be a government that may or may not be formed by the people, because if it is a democracy then obviously people will elect the government, but if it is a monarchy or communist nation then people will not be able to elect it. Okay, so territory is a particular area, geographical area, because obviously it is bounded by it is a physical land and it must be controlled or governed by a government. Aristotle favored a state having moderate size. Montesquieu said that there is a necessary connection between size of state and form of government best suited to it. As you know that Aristotle said that there should be an enough number of population wherein the people will be able to survive as per the resources and land which is available in that state, right? And Montesquieu said that there is a particular connection, there is a particular link between the size of state and the form of government which it can have. Fact is that states of world vary in terms of demographic strength, in terms of the population, in terms of the land that is under their control. So various states of the world here means countries of the world. They vary, or there is a difference in various nations on the basis of the population that they carry and on the basis of the land which is under their control. Territory is generally described as land which belongs to the state and individuals, internal waters, territorial sea, which state claims for sovereignty, and airspace above this territory. So what all comes under the territory? Obviously the land would come, waters, seas, oceans will also come under its territory. जो उसके border में होगा, that particular nation is claiming that it is under its sovereignty, so that would also be its territory. And the airspace means the sky above it also. Okay, like whenever the PM or the president has to fly over a country, like it has to use the airspace of Pakistan, for example. Because I am giving this example because it was a recent issue wherein Pakistan declined the request of Indian PM to fly over its nation, its airspace. So airspace is also under the control of that government, under the control of that particular territory or nation. And if any other nation or any other person wants to use that airspace, then it has to take the request of that particular country. Okay, so the territory contains waters, like India claims its control over Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, right? It is not directly connected to its land part. It is in the water, it is in the sea portion, right? But it claims its sovereignty over there, it claims its rule over there, so it is considered to be a part of India's territory. Resources like agriculture, livestock, minerals, oil, natural gas, forestry also, which are found on the land of that territory, will be a part of the territory of that nation only. Territories constitute the physical basis of state. Nomads, gypsies can have no state because they lead a wandering life. They constantly move from one place to another and they settle there for some period of time, and then they move to another land. There they settle for another short period of time, so they keep on moving from one country to another, so they don't have any fixed state. Okay, it is important that a state should possess an undisputed territory of its own over which it should have exclusive jurisdiction. Means there should be a particular land in the state which is not disputed. Disputed मतलब जिस पर कोई और कंट्री अपना क्लेम ना करती हो, ठीक है, जिस पर कोई और कंट्री आकर ना कहे कि इसने मेरी लैंड हथियाई है, ये तो मेरी लैंड है जो तुम अपने पे लेकर बैठे हो, तो ऐसा कुछ डिस्प्यूटेड लैंड नहीं होनी चाहिए. Furthermore, it should have a territorial continuity, that is, geographically it should be one composite whole. मतलब एक पूरा सिंगल यूनिट बना चाहिए. जैसे जो इंडिया है उसका पूरा जो आपको मैप दिखता है, अंडमान और उन सबको हटा दो, तो दैट इज अ पर्टिकुलर होल कंट्री, राइट? एक यूनिट की तरह लगता है आपको वो पूरा फिक्स्ड. So that is composite whole. Fixed territory is not essential, provided that there is an acceptable degree of what is characterized as consistency in the nature of territory in question and its population. In fact, all modern states are contained within territorial limits. Territorial limits over here mean all countries in the present world have their particular borders, और उसी border के अंदर में ही उनका sovereignty या उनका governance चलता है. In brief, territory does not need to possess geographical unity. Geographical unity ना हो तभी चलेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि एक इंडिया यूनिट की तरह तो है, लेकिन जो अंडमान और लक्षद्वीप वगैरह हैं, that are different parts, right? It is not in that composite whole unit, but then too they are a part of India's territory, India's rule. That's why it may not happen कि वो geographically composite हो, but then too the lands may come under its control. It may even consist of territorial areas which lack connection or are distant from one another. हो सकता है दो states उससे बहुत दूर दूर हों, लेकिन तब भी इंडिया के अंदर ही हों. For instance, islands or other territories which are part of mainland still constitute of territory of a state, as I give you the example of Andaman. So many times I had given you this example, so that is only the case. Next is government. Government is political and administrative organ of a state. It rules, so administrative organ. The state operates through its government. State consists of all its citizens. Border concept. The government is sum total of legislative, executive and judicial activities of a state. It includes internal bodies, sub-state governing authorities at local and regional levels like municipal corporations, municipal councils, panchayats, gram sabhas in India. To rule a large country like India or any other big country, it is not possible that a particular or a single government is formed at the central level, at the country level, and the administration would be effluent. So that is not possible. So there are sub-state governing bodies which are formed at the state level, which are formed at the local or regional level, so that the administration can be efficiently done. Okay, like in India, it is a big country, so it is not possible that a single central government would be able to govern all the 28 states of the nation. So various state governments are also elected in those states, and in those states have districts. So at the district level there is district magistrates, right? Then they have municipal corporations or municipalities also, and in those districts, there in the villages, we have panchayat or gram sabhas. So what is this? At various levels, at sub-regional levels, the administration is divided. The powers of administrating is divided amongst the various organs of the government, so that the administration could be efficiently done. Government makes provisions for services of defense, foreign relations, levy of taxes, issue of currency, building of roads, bridges, transportation, communication, water supply, electricity, health, education, and other types of social and physical infrastructure. So whatever facilities, like roads, transportation, communication, जो भी facilities हैं, that all is decided by the government of the nation. Government of a state shall also be organized that it enforces law to maintain order, peace and security. Obviously, that government can be given the power to form the rules or the regulations so that a public harmony or public order can be maintained. As the role of state changes, so does the form of government. Next is sovereignty. Sovereignty is a crucial factor that distinguishes the state from other associations. Without territory, there can be no state in the technical sense of the term. Sovereignty is the most essential ingredient and characteristic in the formation of state. No state can exist without internal and external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty means that people residing within the country of the state give their unqualified obedience and support to the authority of state, and further, that state is supreme in all of its internal matters. Means whatever are the internal matters that would be handled by that particular government, there would be no pressure on it, and the people of the nation as the subjects of the country will obey that government. Whatever rules are framed by the government, that will be taken by the people with full support. They will obey that and they will not question it, because it's democracy. So obviously there will be a question in India if we say, but then too whatever rules and regulations are framed, they are generally obeyed by the people, right? And it is very important that those rules are obeyed so that the public harmony or public order can be maintained. And rules बनाए इसलिए जाते हैं ताकि आसानी से और अच्छे से हम लोग रह सकें, पीस हो, सिक्योरिटी हो कंट्री में. तो अगर आप उस रूल को फॉलो नहीं करेंगे तो थोड़ा सा डिस्टर्बेंस आ सकता है. सो दैट इज द कंसेप्ट. इंटरनल और एक्सटर्नल सोवरेनिटी होती हैं दो टाइप्स की. इंटरनल सोवरेनिटी का मतलब है कि जो भी डिसीजन या जो भी रूल या लॉ गवर्नमेंट फ्रेम कर रही है उसको वहाँ के जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, जो पॉपुलेशन है, उसको फॉलो करे, उसको माने और गवर्नमेंट को ही सुप्रीम माने कि यही सुप्रीम बॉडी है जो कि रूल्स फ्रेम कर सकती है. आता जाता कोई भी बंदा नहीं बनाएगा. It is by virtue of its sovereignty that state makes its laws and decisions and issue commands which are binding on all citizens. As I told you just now, the right to use legitimate coercion in its own right is exclusive to a state. Internal revolts or external aggressions may disturb a state, but the state continues to exist so long as it has legitimate sovereignty. अगर sovereignty होगी तो internal revolts से कोई भी effect नहीं पड़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ही सुप्रीम है और वो अपने internal matters को अपने तरीके से solve कर लेगी. External sovereignty is the freedom of state from external control and influence. ये मैंने आपको अभी बताया है. State should be treated at par with other states and should not be assigned any inferior position. So a particular nation should be considered at par or equal to the other nations of the world, and there should not be any inferior type of feeling for a particular state कि we are less developed or we are inferior to this nation. No, they should be treated equally. And external sovereignty is when the government can rule without any external influence or external interference in its matters or decisions. As you know, it happens in the CAA case. It happened when the UN organization came to Supreme Court that CAA is wrong or it is violative of secularism. That then India maintained its stand that India is a sovereign country and we don't want any external interference in our personal matters, right? When Pakistan put forward the issue of scrapping of Article 370 state from Jammu and Kashmir state of erstwhile India, then also India put its stand in front of those ICJ that India is a sovereign country and we don't want any external interference in our personal matters. So if it is a sovereignty which is followed by a country, then it can claim that we are sovereign and we have full power to take our own decisions, so we don't want any interference in our matters, right? State should be free to enact its own laws and foreign policy without any external pressure. presently, international recognition is also considered as an essential element of the state, means it must be identified at the international level that it is a particular state. That implies that recognition of sovereignty of the state over a given territory and population by other states, means the other states should recognize that yeah, this is a particular country in which it has this land and it has this much of population. So that must also be approved by the other nations of the country, and then only it will be considered as a particular nation. So that's why it is said that international recognition is also taken as a particular element of the state. This is all for today from the 6th unit, that is role of a state. We will be conducting in the next lecture. Thank you.